Hello guys, welcome to today's video. So today we'll be discussing about a simple concept or a simple topic that is related to system design. So that is nothing but latency versus response time. We'll try to compare what is meant by latency and what is meant by response time. So as the name suggests, latency is nothing but a delay in processing. So practically what it means is, for example, you have a system, you have a client here, you have a client and you have a server here which does the processing of your request. So you are sending a request to the server. So you are sending a request to the server and the server is giving you the response back. So latency is nothing but the time for this request to reach the server. So that particular latency is called transmission latency or transfer latency. So that is called transfer latency. In other words, we can say that how much time a particular request gets delayed before it gets actually processed in the server. So one particular component is a transfer latency, the actual call, the actual request, how much time the actual request it takes to reach the server. So that is a transfer latency. And the other scenario is, in the server side itself, there can be something called as messaging queue. There can be a messaging queue in the server. So if there are multiple clients sending a request, so the server will try to queue those requests so that the server will be available to accept a request. So in that case, what happens is the client one request, the request will be processed in first come first serve basis. So the request will be queued like this: client one request, client two request, client three request, and client four request, and so on. It will be queued in the message queue. So each request will wait in the queue for certain duration of time. It depends upon the number of previous requests waiting to be processed, and it depends upon the length of this particular message queue. So after this message queue, there is a processing component which actually reads from this processing queue and processes the request and sends the response back. So here, for this is also called as latency. So time that particular request gets delayed because of this processing in the message queue, because of the request being kept in this message queue, how much time it was kept in the message queue. So that is also can be considered as a latency. So in summary, you can take that latency is nothing but how much time a particular request gets delayed before it gets actually processed. So that is called as latency. So now you understood what is latency. Now let's discuss what is response time. So you might have heard these particular terms interchangeably while trying to come up with the system requirements of your particular system. So your system must meet certain criteria to be accepted by the customer. So it should have low latency and a low response time for each request. So response time is nothing but latency, which we have discussed already, plus the processing time. So this is the equation of the response time. So response time will be equal to the latency of that particular request, or how much time a request got delayed before it actually got processed, and the actual processing time of that particular request. So this is what is the difference between latency and response time. Hope you are completely clear of this. If you have any further questions, Please do comment the comment box below, and I have covered a similar topic like fault versus and failure in my previous video. So kindly check that particular video out, and do check out the blog in the description box. Thank you.